This summer, Instacart is bringing back your favorites from 1999 with prices from 1999. That means 90s prices on juice pouches that ought to be respected, 90s prices on box mac and cheese, and 90s prices on ham, cheese, and cracker lunches. Enjoy all those throwbacks and more at throwback prices, only through Instacart. $4.72 maximum discount per $10 of eligible items. Limit one offer per order. Expires September 5th while supplies last. Discount based on CPI comparison.
On today's Smart 7, Afghan Data breach raises more questions, Labour suspends rebel backbenchers, and much more. It's Thursday, 17th of July, it's National Tattoo Day, and happy birthday, David Hasselhoff.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
More details emerged on Wednesday of the secret scheme to offer relocation to the UK for nearly 19,000 Afghans who were caught up in a British data leak. The then Tory government only discovered the leak had occurred in 2023 when details emerged on Facebook, and they swung into action but imposed a super injunction which prevented any reporting of the events. The scheme has cost over £850 million so far, and former Tory Defence Secretary Sir Ben Wallace expressed regret over the data leak that caused the issue in the first place.
I take complete responsibility for the mistake that was made by that person. That individual, in the midst of chaos, was trying to verify these applications.
The Labour government were only told about the scheme when they took office and ordered a review into the data leak, which led to the super injunction being lifted. Prime Minister Keir Starmer says we need to get to the bottom of how it happened in the first place.
Ministers who served under the party opposite have serious questions to answer about how this was ever allowed to happen. The chair of the Defence Committee has indicated that he intends to hold further inquiries. I welcome that.
The UK's inflation rate rose in June, surprising markets and the Bank of England, who had expected it to remain stable. The inflation rate rose by 0.2% to 3.6%, driven in part by the price of fuel and food. It makes for a difficult economic picture for the government as growth has declined in the last 2 months and tax rises in the budget seem to be increasingly likely. Ray Newton-Smith is the chief executive of the Confederation of British Industry, and she says higher inflation along with the increases in national insurance is going to lead to more economic pressure on businesses.
I think it's really important that we focus on the things they are doing to try and boost growth and investment in our economy, because many businesses say they don't have the ability to shoulder more in the near term while they're trying to really create investment and growth in the UK.
At Prime Minister's Question Time, Tory leader Kemi Badenoch was on the attack over the gloomy economic picture.
The economy is contracting. Inflation, highest in the G7. Unemployment, up every month under this government. The Labour Party should be ashamed of what it is doing to the country.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer has moved to tighten his grip on the Labour Party after the recent welfare bill rebellion. Wednesday saw 4 MPs lose the whip for what was described as repeated breaches of discipline, while 3 more MPs from the Rebel Alliance lost their government trade envoy roles. Almost 50 backbenchers voted against the government over the welfare bill, despite a string of last-minute concessions, and there was immediate criticism of the disciplinary action. Backbench MPs told The Guardian that the move made the government look brittle and that it wouldn't make any difference. Rachel Maskell is one of the 4 MPs suspended, but she said she felt she had no choice but to stand up for her constituents against the welfare changes.
When the evidence was so strong that people would die as a result of these changes, we've got to protect those people in our society. I believe that. So I could not have on my conscience something where we know that people would take their own lives if they had insufficiency.
A new report into the Prevent service, which is intended as an anti-terrorism scheme, says the service failed on multiple occasions to protect the public from risks. It cites 2 specific examples, the murder of MP Sir David Ames and the attack in Southport, which saw 3 young girls murdered and many more injured. In both cases, the young men involved, Ali Harbi Ali and Axel Rudakubanu, had been on the radar of the Prevent service, but the system failed to intervene sufficiently to avoid the terrorist incidents that followed. The report's author, Lord Anderson, says a Cabinet Office-level task force is required to help formally connect the Prevent service to a wider safeguarding and violence prevention system.
Prevent failed these 2 young people. Unfortunately, it did not succeed in diverting them from the path on which they were embarked, and in both cases that path ended, some years later, it must be said, in murder.
Still to come on today's Smart 7 in association with Metro, the Lionesses gear up for a quarter-final and stranger things may ruin your plans. Right after this.
Asking questions doesn't make one a difficult patient. It makes you an advocate for you.
Life can be hard enough. So what do you do when you receive a medical diagnosis that changes everything? How do you navigate feeling like you have to fight to be heard when it comes to your health? These are big, scary questions, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. That's why BetterHelp teamed up with host and licensed therapist Hesu Zhou to create Mind If We Talk, a new podcast that looks at life's difficult moments through the lens of therapy. On the latest episode, Hesu sits down with comedian Ryan Sickler to talk about the diagnosis that turned his life upside down and the tools that helped him move forward. If you or someone you love has ever felt the weight of medical stress, this episode is for you. Listen and subscribe to Mind If We Talk wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, your happiness matters.
Welcome back. We're into the quarter-final stages of the Women's Euros as England get ready to face Sweden on Thursday night. The Lionesses had to dig deep to battle through a tough qualifying group that saw Wales and the Netherlands sent home, and they'll have been relieved to have avoided Germany in the quarter-final stages. However, Sweden are tough opponents, and England forward Chloe Kelly says the team are focused and taking their opposition very seriously.
Maybe a team that sometimes do go under the radar, but the quality that they've shown consistently in many tournaments is impressive, and they have such talent throughout their whole squad. So it's a game that we're fully preparing for and doing our homework to be at our best on the night, because that's what we need to be.
Jacob Elordi is an actor who is not afraid to broaden his range. The Australian first came to prominence in Euphoria, then had a memorable role in Saltburn as a wealthy college student, which earned him a BAFTA nomination for Best Supporting Actor. His new project drops on the BBC iPlayer this Sunday, and it's a fascinating 5-part series called The Narrow Road to the Deep North. It follows the life of Dorigo Evans, who was held captive in a prisoner of war camp, then went on to become a surgeon and a reluctant war hero. Next up, he's taking on the iconic role of Heathcliff in a reboot of Wuthering Heights, and he says he loves getting a chance to play characters with depth.
They're incredibly human, and they're all relatable to all kinds of different people. And as an actor, they're the kind of things that you want to play. I'm having an absolute blast.
The long wait for Season 5 of Stranger Things is nearly over, as Netflix released a new trailer and confirmed release dates on Wednesday. The bad news is, you're going to have to cancel your New Year's Eve plans. The final episodes are to be released in 3 batches. The first on November 26th, the second at Christmas, and the finale will hit screens on New Year's Eve. Season 5 sees the crew back together and facing major drama as they try to track down and kill Vecna.
Wherever this blood leads, I need you to fight one last time. Let's end this, kid. Found you.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.
And now, a next-level moment from AT&T Business. Say you've sent out a gigantic shipment of pillows, and they need to be there in time for International Sleep Day. You've got AT&T 5G, so you're fully confident. But the vendor isn't responding, and International Sleep Day is tomorrow. Luckily, AT&T 5G lets you deal with any issues with ease, so the pillows will get delivered and everyone can sleep soundly, especially you. AT&T 5G requires a compatible plan and device. Coverage not available everywhere. Learn more at att.com/5G network.